All right, thank you everybody for joining. Welcome to Macronet Services Carrier Briefing Series. Today we have Aryaka. We have Ryan Gibbons and Danny Rodriguez from Aryaka, and they're going to cover Aryaka in corporate overview as well as the product set. And I'm going to hand it right over to Mr. Gibbons. Ryan, Danny.
Thank you, Scott. It's a huge compliment to be on here, and we really appreciate it. And hello to all of your customers who are listening to this, and thank you for doing so. Yeah, next slide. Aryaka's been around 10 years. We started conceptually as a CDN type service, and the founders came from the user side, and they just recognized on a global scale the challenges of delivering applications and having reliable, secure, and high-performing networks, and sort of the complexities they were posed with frame relay and evolution into MPLS, and just the challenges with that type of networking, and then the carriers trying to manage the edge CPE. So that's how Aryaka came about. We are a global organization. We have sales and support in EMEA, APAC, the Americas, and we are disrupting the global MPLS market. So Aryaka is a direct replacement and/or alternative to an MPLS plus CPE, now the edge sd-wan managed service aspect. And where the other TAM that we're addressing is when the customer's WAN will suffice or is sufficient with internet, and it's just the edge that the customer needs. Aryaka does well in that space as well. This here is the Aryaka global backbone. The green dots are the Aryaka points of presence. And a couple things here. Again, Aryaka was built around application delivery and performance, and also resiliency. So this is from end to end. The Aryaka backbone is N+1, fully built data centers, primarily using Equinix and other tier 1 facilities where Equinix is not available in areas. And with customer in mind, and thinking about how to help reduce complexities of taking on internet-based services such as infrastructure as a service, software as a service, things like that, we built ourselves and put our POP right next to the cloud providers. So in many cases, in fact, 13 of AWS and 13 of Azure, we are co-located and have those direct connects pre-built around the world. And then kind of same is true for any other cloud type service. We're usually co-located or sitting right next to that type of service. The other important thing here, back to the performance and resiliency aspect, this is a layer 2 backbone. So we're doing all the things MPLS, although doing it with software. We're using layer 2 DWDM or Ethernet over SONET for a transport layer, which is helping us control the application and user experience. Next slide.
Yeah, before we change slides, I'll just throw in there. We've had some clients that have started with Aryaka to improve specific application performance in different parts of the world, and then ended up adding on from there. So it's been a good foot in the door story, and a good story for IT executives who are solving some application problems in different parts of the world using Aryaka.
Thank you, Scott. It's a huge point. Yep. Danny.
So now, Aryaka, we've actually called our product portfolio our Smart Services Platform, right? And it's, in essence, different layers that together can be combined to give a customer a complete end-to-end solution. I'll start from the bottom, right? Smart Connect, that's more of our foundational layer, right? That's where that global backbone resides. And that's our traditional site-to-site connectivity, right? That's where you take a customer site and connect it either to, to another customer site via either an internet or, we have other last mile connectivity methods as well. But these deployments for these smart connect sites can be global, right? That's what we're known for. But we also support regional now. And what we've done with regional, it's more of a commercial constraint where we can now make some of these features a la carte. So you don't necessarily have to pay for some features that you necessarily might not need, right? We also support hybrid connectivity in this layer as well. We'll talk about that in a future slide here. But when you go up the stack, the next layer is that smart optimized layer. That's where you find a traditional sd-wan feature set, that ability to utilize multiple DIA links, the ability to recover from loss on that last mile link. We also provide WAN optimization built into our platform. So built into our software stack, our Aryaka software stack is your traditional compression, your byte level caching, and TCP optimization as well. Next up is Smart Cloud. So this platform, as Ryan mentioned on that backbone map, is multi-cloud ready. So we have layer 2 connections into AWS, their direct connect service. We have express route connectivity into Microsoft Azure. We have connections into Oracle, Google Cloud, Alibaba, and that does not include SaaS services. We can connect to any SaaS service across the world, depending on whether or not it depends on how we connect to them, but we can connect to any SaaS provider across the world, as well as we have technology integrations with UCaaS providers like 8x8 or Fuse, to name a few. The next layer is Smart Secure. That's obviously where we put our security offering. In this bucket, this is more a framework that we provide, right? We are very agnostic in terms of security, security posture for a customer. A customer can bring their own on-prem security device. We can coexist with it. We can coexist with their cloud security service of their choice, right? So if they've chosen to go with the Zscaler, Palo Alto Prisma, Checkpoint, CloudGuard Connect, our CPE device can orchestrate a tunnel to those providers. And finally, our InApp device can act as a NFV-capable platform, so we can host Checkpoint VNF as well as a Palo Alto VNF. Right. So again, from a security perspective, Aryaka's approach is flexibility. Right. Let's fit into the customer security posture versus making the customer fit into our stance. The next layer is Smart Insights. That's our portal or our visibility into our platform. In this platform, it is web-based, HTML5 based. And we do provide the customer network-based stats. We provide them application visibility, and we also provide last mile visibility as well to the customer. And finally, this is all wrapped around a fully managed package, right? So that's our Smart Manage layer. We take care of all the orchestration globally. We do take care of the device management. We take care of that middle mile management as well. We give visibility into that last mile, and optionally, we can also manage that last mile for customers as well. So we can move on to the next slide. And this is where we kind of depict our hybrid approach, right? So to the left here, where you see the bottom branch connecting via the Aryaka Global Core, that's what we're traditionally known for, right? Utilizing internet last mile to connect to an Aryaka core. That's where we can provide you that WAN optimization. Then the middle path is MPLS. This is a newer offering for Aryaka. We can coexist with the customer's existing MPLS network. And we look at that more as a migration path, right? Customers who are still within contracts for MPLS networks, they can now utilize our InApp device to orchestrate connectivity over an MPLS network. And then finally, on to the right, that internet path, we now support traffic via our InApp device to a foreign InApp device completely over the internet. That gives the customer flexibility in terms of designing a network where they can take the premium Aryaka path and they can take certain applications to a more cost-effective approach utilizing full internet. So again, we're trying to give customers flexibility in how we architect their network depending on their needs. So we can move on to the next slide. And this is our InApp device, RCD device, right? It's Aryaka Network Access Point. This platform does support NFV capabilities. It does support multi-VRF, or we call it micro-segmentation. So you can have completely segmented layer 3 networks across your WAN, depending on your approach. Cloud connectors, again, talks about how we connect to Zscaler and Palo Alto, Checkpoint CloudGuard Connect. And then we do support QoS and HA scenarios with these devices. You can go on to the next slide. Ryan, you want to take the last mile services?
Yeah, sure. This is where Aryaka and/or Macronet can help with procurement of the DIA. So to access the Aryaka service, customer needs capacity on existing DIA. Usually we see customers having at least one DIA. We recommend 2 for resiliency at the edge. So when there is a second one needed, or if the customer is looking to do a complete refresh, they can lean on Scott and his team for the procurement of that, or Aryaka does provide that as an option. By default, we do offer the visibility through the My Aryaka portal, and as an option to the customer, we will manage the relationship to the ISP. We usually see that in other areas of the world outside the Americas, just kind of given the fact that IT is usually stateside or working stateside hours, and it's a lot of pain to kind of operate on IST and other hours. So we see that service in APAC areas, mainly in China, and it's where Aryaka will bang on the ISP when there's issues and hold them to their SLAs, and then do all the reconciliation for credits and report back to customer through resolution.
Yeah, and so it's not all or nothing. It sounds like you can opt to have last mile services in certain parts of the globe, like you said, to offset your IT hours.
Correct.
That's spot on. Yep. Spot on. Yep.
Okay, and this slide kind of depicts a couple of our different options in terms of providing a security base for our customers, right? I think when you see the top one, that's where the InApp device itself acts as a NFV capable platform, and it's hosting a checkpoint VNF, right? So when the customer at the branch wants to hit either the internet or Aryaka, it's going to hit that checkpoint VNF first. Checkpoint does his inspection. We can either send that traffic towards Aryaka and hit our InApp agent to go across the Aryaka core, or it can go directly out to the internet from that point, right? The InApp device takes care of the actual virtual appliance. We can bundle that checkpoint license into our solution. We can also provide management for that checkpoint device. On the bottom half, where you see Aryaka Layer 4 firewall, that InApp device is a stateful firewall by default. So it can provide that perimeter branch firewall while uplinking or providing connectivity to these cloud security providers. So Zscaler, Checkpoint, CloudGuard Connect. Those users will then hit the Aryaka firewall, we'll send it across our tunnel to those platforms, and they could provide their next-gen firewall functionality for those endpoints. When you go across the network, we do provide private connectivity into those IaaS providers, right? So it is a layer 2 connection. It's not over the internet. We do offer an IPsec option as well. So from our POP, we can create an IPsec tunnel to those platforms, to those providers. Again, that connectivity is encrypted, so it's private again to the customer. And then on the top right hand, you have that SaaS, those SaaS or public facing applications. That's where our POP will act as a firewall, right? We do have layer 4 capabilities. We're keeping track of the connections coming from the customers, and that's the only connections that will be allowed to come back in, right? Nothing else will be allowed to come back into the customer network. And again, as we mentioned before, we're also flexible. If a customer has their own on-prem security firewall, we can coexist with that as well. Our InApp device can be inserted in such a method that it works hand in hand with that firewall. So again, we're very flexible with our security architecture. Yeah, we can move on to the next one.
Yeah, Danny, I know we're coming up on time here.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just a snapshot of the portal and visibility that we have. Probably the important thing is it is a web-based portal, so there is no infrastructure required to host the controller. This is a controller-less service.
Mhm. Okay.
And this is the last slide. Probably the key takeaway here is Aryaka is flexible. We are a true alternative displacement to a global MPLS plus CPE managed environment. And then for more regional deployments, we can apply our optimization and SD-WAN techniques to internet-based setups for more regional type stuff.
Got it. All right. Well, I think that wraps up. I really appreciate it, guys. Good stuff. Thanks again. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
Danny.
you.
Nice work.